Lesson 7.7, Simple and Compound Interest. Interest is the amount earned or paid for the use of money. So interest could be a good thing because you earn money from the interest, or it could be a bad thing because you have to pay more because of the interest. A principal is the amount of money deposited or borrowed. If you were setting up like a savings account, that's when you would deposit money, and that's the principal. If you were borrowing a loan for a mortgage or for school, the principal would be the amount that you borrow. Simple interest is the interest that is earned or paid only on the principal. Again, you don't need this last part. The interest that is earned or paid only on the principal. Annual interest rate is the percent, so remember it is a percentage, of the principal earned or paid per year. The balance, and we use the A to represent balance, of an account that earns simple annual interest is the sum of the principal and the interest, which is P times R times T. In symbols, this means, and this is something you should write down because you will need to know how to solve for balance. Balance equals the principal plus the principal times the rate times time. Compound interest is interest that is earned on both the principal and any interest that has been earned previously. So you're basically making money off of you're making more money off of the interest that you've already earned. Here's the simple interest formula. So I is simple interest, P is the principal, R is the annual interest rate, and again this is a percent that is written as a decimal in order to multiply it, and T is time. And remember, it is time in years. If I give you months, that means I have to divide by 12 in order to get time, because there's 12 months in a year. So for example, if I say it's 48 months, then you want to take 48 and divide by 12 to figure out how many years. So remember, T is always time in years. Yeah, this is the important aspect of that. Let's find simple interest in example 1. A $2,000 bond earns 3% simple interest per year on its purchase price. Find the interest earned after 5 years. Okay, obviously 5 years is your time. It's in years, so you don't have to do anything. Change this to a decimal because that is your rate. And this is your P, principal. Substitute in the formula, the principal times the rate times the time. Multiply, you have 300. That means this bond that you deposited that was $2,000 earns $300 in interest after 5 years. In example 2, this time we're going to find the interest rate. So you deposit $900. See, this is what you deposit, so it's your principal, into an account that earns simple annual interest. After 8 months, and this is your time, we have to divide it by 12. The balance is $913.20. Find the interest rate, which is R. We're going to use this formula, and this is one of the formulas that they gave us for balance. Okay, this is the balance formula. We already talked about how we need to change it into years by putting it over 12, which is 2/3 of a year. And you can change it into a fraction like they did, or keep it as a decimal. Then solve for R after substituting in the values for the rest of them. So we know A is, here's the balance, here's A, $913.20. The principal was $900. We multiply that by 1 plus the rate. We don't know the rate. times time, which is 2/3. Again, you can put the decimal in there if you like. This is distributed property. Make sure you remember that. So 900 times 1 is 900. Let's just bring down the balance. And then 900 times 2/3 is 600. Just bring down the R. Two-step problem. So, first step, subtract 900 from each side, because that's the constant. That clears the 900 on that side, and you're left with 1320. Bring down the 600R. Second step in my two-step problem is to divide by 600. The interest rate is 0.022. Remember, this is percent, so move it over 2 spaces. 2.2% is the annual interest rate. You're going to try checkpoint 1, 2, and 3. Remember which formulas you are using. This is simple interest, so we want to find the interest earned after 3 years. We are using this formula. Number 2, we want to find the unknown quantity. I would use this formula. Because you know the balance, or you're trying to find the balance. Pause the video, substitute the numbers in for the variables, and solve the problem. Number 1, principal is 1,200, the interest rate is 5%, the time is 3. So I'm just going to multiply these 3 together, change the 5% to a decimal, multiply, you have $180. Number 2, I'm going to substitute in my principal, 1 plus the interest rate, which I'm going to turn into a decimal, times 4. Remember, you are multiplying first before you add. So this is going to be 1 plus 0.16, 1600ths. Now, you can just do the order of operations. Add 1 to that, which is 1.16, multiplied by 1,300. You end up with 1,580. So that's the balance. Again, this is your balance. Number 2, this time we know the balance. We know the principal times 1 plus R is 3%, so we're going to, and we don't know T. Distributed property. You're going to get 33T. This is a two-step problem, so I'm going to subtract the constant. You get 1650 equals 33T, divide by 33. That's the coefficient. I end up with 0.5, which is 1, 2, 50%.